Hello there, welcome to Learning English is Fun with me, Teacher Fidelis. And today we shall be looking at chapter by chapter analysis of the set text, Fathers of Nations. Fathers of Nations is a text that discusses a summit where presidents meet to discuss a document. At first we have one document that is Way Omega, but later through Third Long Way another document is introduced, and this document is Path Alpha. You're correct. So that is the main basis of having this summit. The next question you should ask yourself, which document gets approved and which one is rejected? Well, let us delve into chapter 1 and we see what happens. In this chapter, we shall have 4 episodes, and in these 4 episodes then, we shall see what exactly happens in chapter 1. The very first episode will say, 4 strangers check in at Seamount Hotel. 4 strangers check in at Seamount Hotel. You want to ask yourself a question. Who are these 4 strangers? The very first person we have is Professor Karanja Kimani. This is a character who comes from Kenya. He is a lecturer, or rather a professor, at the University of Nairobi. He is assigned the 4th floor. Next, we have Comrade Melusi. He comes from Zimbabwe, and he is an old man who has only one thing he thinks about, and that is avenging his wife's death, as we shall learn in the other chapters. Then he is assigned the 5th floor. He is assigned the 5th floor in the Seamount Hotel. Number 3, we said we have 4. So the third character to check in is Pastor Chineke Chamaka. He is a pastor from Nigeria, and he preaches at Church Inside Africa. And lastly, we have Engineer Saif Tahir. He comes from Libya, and he is assigned the 3rd floor. Just to add that Pastor Chineke Chamaka is assigned the 6th floor. That is the first episode. The very first episode in chapter 1, Fathers of Nations, we just get to know about those 4 strangers, their names, their ages, and where they come from. So a question for you, which are the 4 characters that check in? Where do they come from? Ensure that you can answer that question. The second episode is the call from the guide. Who gets a call? All these 4 people get a call, but the very first one we encounter is a call that is made to Professor Karanja Kimani. He gets a call from the guide. As you read, you understand that there's a person who is supposed to guide the 4 characters, and this is Abula Afolabi. But unknown to them, they do not know who this person is, and he tells them, listen to my instructions, do what I have said, but then do not call me. I'll be the person to call you. So that particular episode is short, and you just get to understand that he gives the PIN number to open the briefcase that the 4 characters received, and then they're supposed to go check inside that briefcase where they find pamphlets, they have brochures, they have a letter from AGDA and some other documents, and also both documents, that is Way Omega and Path Alpha. So the guide tells them to make sure that they have gotten all the information that is needed from all the documents. Then we have number 3. You can talk about the interview. Who interviews who? So once you talk about the interview, think about the character Fiona Mackenzie. So through this episode, we get to understand who Fiona Mackenzie is and the person that she actually interviews. So who is Fiona Mackenzie? Fiona Mackenzie is a reporter from the Gambian News, and she is here to have an interview, or rather to get some information from Dr. Abula Afolabi. Now, some background information about Fiona Mackenzie. She was adopted by Scottish missionaries. Their names, Ian and Elspeth Mackenzie. That's why we have her being referred to as Fiona Mackenzie. Fiona expects to find an academic scarecrow, but that is not what she finds. She finds a person who is rather looking good, and Humorously, she tells him that he should make sure that he gets a photograph taken because he wouldn't remain that good looking forever. And at this point, Dr. Afolabi looks at Fiona thinking that she's a lamb and she's calm and she's someone he can mess with. But the moment she starts asking questions about a book that he had written, the title of this book is Failure of States, she calls Dr. Afolabi someone who is pessimistic. He does not take this kindly, and then he starts saying, what kind of reporter are you? Why do you want to insult me? But then at that point, the only thing that Fiona Mackenzie wanted was to get information about the book written by Dr. Afolabi and why he was being invited to the summit as an advisor to the president. So Fiona Mackenzie wanted to know about the document, Way Omega, as well as the book that Dr. Afolabi had written. He's agitated, he's irritated, and he does not want to continue with the interview because Fiona Mackenzie is curious, she's inquisitive, and she's bold. Because no matter how irritated Dr. Afolabi gets, she keeps on pushing him. She keeps on pushing him. So Dr. Afolabi tells her, don't just look at the title of the book. Yes, the title of the book is Failure of States, but have you gone ahead and read the book? So that once she's asking these questions, she can ask the questions from a point of knowledge. Fiona Mackenzie does not take this to heart and she continues asking the questions anyway. And at this point, Dr. Afolabi explains about Way Omega and why this particular document will bring a change to the continent. Fiona Mackenzie gets a call from her boss and then she says, oh, my silly boss is calling me, so I have to go. And that is the end of that episode, which we have called the interview. Then we get to the summit. This is the last episode we have in chapter 1. When you look at this particular episode, the information we get here is about the summit, what is happening at the summit, and maybe how the guests are being taken care of by the host. So the first question you ask yourself at this point, where is the summit taking place? Where is the summit taking place? This is at Gambia. At this particular point, you get to learn that Gambia has another name, and this name is the land of Kunta Kinte. So the first document, or the only document that is supposed to be discussed, is Way Omega. But Third Long will bring sneaks in another document through Dr. Afolabi to the summit, that is Path Alpha. When we look at this particular episode, I want us to focus on 4 things. The first thing, where are the presidents staying? They're staying at the Pinnacle Hotel. Where is the city where the summit is being hosted? That is Banjul. The country is Gambia. And at that particular point, you look at the effects of the summit to the hosts in terms of the citizens of Gambia. We have consequences of hosting the summit in Gambia, and there are a few things that happen to the people of Gambia. Number one, there's an increase in corruption because the roads are being made, layers are being added, layers and layers of tarmac are being added, and this results in having many stopovers, and the guards take advantage and they take bribes. They keep on taking bribes from the people of Gambia. Number two, the water that is meant to be used by the people of Gambia is redirected to the fountains that are meant to mesmerize the visitors. You see, these are the people who lived in slums. They have kiosks that ensure that they have a livelihood. What happens? Bulldozers are sent out and they bring down these slums and the kiosks. So the people of Gambia are left with nothing. They have no source of livelihood. Now, once we continue with this particular episode, the next thing we shall see that we have two ministries that were meant to take care of the security during the summit. Number one, the Ministry of Defense, And number 2, the Ministry of Internal Security. But as you continue reading, there's something very funny that occurs, that they had taken care of everything, yeah, on land, but they didn't take time to think of what would happen in the skies. They didn't, and no one was given that mandate to ensure that the skies in Gambia were safe when the summit was going on. And the last thing we shall look at is the seating arrangement. How is the seating arrangement done? The seating arrangement is done in terms of the alphabet, letters of the alphabet from A, B, C up to Z. If you look at countries whose names start with letter A, then they were given a seating place that was next to the chairman of the summit. So Angola would be sitting next to the or near the chairperson of the summit. Countries like Zambia, Zimbabwe would be sitting far away from the chairman of the summit. But they said that was the easiest way to come up with the seating arrangement for the 49 visiting heads of state. So that is chapter 1 for you. Look at the 4 episodes that we have discussed. In the next episode, I will look at chapter 2 and 3 together, because chapter 2 is quite simple and small in terms of what we have in terms of the activities. We shall look at chapter 2 and 3 together. Make sure that you read, keep reading. Like, whatever I'm giving is not just enough for you to write essays, answer exact questions. You need to go read again and do a revision on your own. Until next time, it's me, your teacher. See you.